All right, good afternoon. He's right. I didn't really even know what grinding was, but once I started working with Rick, the thing that comes to mind, I kind of think we should change the name of this, Rick, to be Embrace the Suck. Embrace the suck. So I want to start back, probably the first person who was really a grinder in my life that I didn't realize. Growing up, my grandmother, obviously, was very influential in my life. She owned her own business. She worked at the beauty shop that she owned. She did hair at the nursing home and the funeral home, and she cooked, and she had a garden, and she canned. We were very low level, I wouldn't say poverty, but I wasn't raised with a silver spoon in my mouth. And I would go to her house, and I was like, this lady never stops. But she gets it all done with a smile on her face, never heard her complain, and I thought, wow, that's pretty impressive, but I never gave her credit for that. But what I want to say to you is I was always watching her. Say watching. Let's try that again. Say watching. We're going to come back to that in a moment. So what's the definition of grind? It's hard, dull chore. It's a hard, dull chore. It's the mundane. It's boring. It's not always fun. It's not complicated. But it's very gratifying. I think that when you think about grinding, we've been talking a lot about Michael Jordan today, how he was the shooter on the team. We didn't see what he did in the dark. So when I think about being a grinder, I think about what do you do when no one's watching? Are you contributing to your success, or are you committed to your success? And I had Rita to follow when I went to North Carolina to work with Rick, but I hadn't really worked with her on a day-to-day basis. And I will tell you, I was committed to not fail. No one had the job that I was stepping into, full-time level 1, full-time level 2, helping Rick revamp those, taking level 3 to the next level, and working for, I will tell you, one of the best bosses in that he taught me how to get more done in less time. And I thought I was pretty good at that because I used to work about 80 hours a week. My family got all that was left of me and not the best of me. I was not a good wife. I was not a good mom. I was not a good realtor. I was unhealthy. I was unhappy. I didn't do things that brought me joy. And in the last 6 years, I've made a lot of changes prior to the last 6 years, but Rick says, man, you are so dialed in. And so what I want to share with you today is the 6 areas of my life that I feel like I grind in the hardest, but I do it with purpose. I want to get in. I get in about 8:30. I know we don't have to be there till 9, but I want to get there and get my mind right. And I want to run out the door, as Rick says, at 5 o'clock. And I don't get to do that every day, but I was just having a conversation with Dennis just right here at the table on the break, and I said to him, negotiate a couple days. If you need to make some changes when you get home, go back to your spouse or partner and negotiate. Hey, I need to stay late these 2 nights, but I promise I'll be home on these nights. And those are techniques and tactics that Rick has taught me over the last 6 years, which I want to share with you guys today. So success for a grinder to me means this: self-motivation. We're all salespeople. I don't want to have to wake up in the morning and somebody say, you need to do this, you need to do that, put your shoes on, go for a run, eat healthy, pack your lunch. I should be the one that's motivating myself if I'm committed to success. Number 2, passion. I love what I do. I love it. I hope if you have a conversation with me, you know that I'm committed to that. I enjoy what I do. I'm at a point in my life that I'm not going to do things that don't make me happy anymore. I love what I do. I'm passionate about it. I have a commitment to the company to succeed, to my coaches to succeed, to my students to succeed, and to my family to succeed. I'm 100% committed. I'm all in all the time. Drive. I'm pretty driven. I've always been pretty driven. I started working when I was 13 at the Shoney's breakfast bar, baby, and I haven't stopped working yet. I'm going to slow down a little bit, but I'm not going to quit working. I've been driven from a very young age. I learned that from my grandmother. You guys have heard me talk about my father, who's a farmer. He gets up at 3:45 every day. He's 77 years old. He drives a tractor. We don't work on Sunday per his instruction. I've been driven my whole life by other drivers. I'm determined. I will not fail. How does that happen? I surround myself with other people that don't let me fail. No offense, but I'm not going to hang out with losers. I'm not. If you're not committed, if you're not driven, if you're not all in all the time or most of the time, we probably wouldn't be friends, right? I want to hang out with winners because I want to win. The last one is discipline. It's the best word I can tell you about being a grinder. Maybe that's where the boring comes in, but you have to do the work every single day to accomplish what you want, and it is discipline. It is. So let's dig into these 6 places that I want to share. Just a couple little tactics, little stories around it. It's really our 7 boxes of life. I just put it down to 6. All right, so spirituality. I am 100% committed to my God. 100%. Whatever your religion is, if it's nature, if it's, a different power that you worship or study, great. Let me tell you something. I get my mind right every single morning before I walk in the door. Nobody wants you bringing your problems to the office. So when you come in and you're tired and you've worked all night the night before, you didn't sleep well, you didn't spit it all out, you didn't do a word dump in the morning, whatever you came in the door with is now spewed all over your entire team. And you know what shocks me is we say, oh my God, my team sucks. Oh, they have a bad attitude. And then when I start digging into the coaching student, what do I find out? Their attitude is coming into the office because we don't get in a better space in the morning. I talk a lot about scarcity and abundance mindset when I talk. How do you give something to somebody you don't have? If your mindset is I'm broken, I'm terrible, this is awful, I'm tired, I'm unhealthy, how do you go in and say, oh, we're great? So my spirituality service in the morning to myself is I read a spiritual scripture every day. If you follow me on Facebook, you know I put scripture on Facebook every day. You want to know why I do that? Because I'm tired of the crap that other people put on Facebook. If I can put something positive out there and change your morning, then I feel like I've done something well. The other thing that I do is I journal every day. Every day. Whatever's in my heart and in my brain, it goes on a piece of paper. I don't take it to the office. A lot of you take your problems to the office, you have an argument, you have something that happened in the morning with your kids, and you take that to the office. It ruins your whole day. Figure out how to do something every morning to get yourself in a better mind space so you can be better for the people that you go lead. I think if you talk to my team, they'd tell you I'm pretty positive most of the time. The second place that I say I'm probably the best grinder is in my husband and I's relationship. I will tell you it has not always been that way. We are empty nesters, and people say there's no way you do a date night. If Diana were here, my assistant, she would tell you that Thursday night, no doubt I am running out the door at 5 o'clock. We used to do the spouses call on Thursdays, and I asked her to change it. That's been our date night for years. Empty nester or not, it's a designated date night. Here's the big thing that we have all gotten in a bad habit about is your cell phone. We have rules at our house. No cell phone at the dinner table. No cell phones on date night. Don't take your cell phone to date night. How are you going to be committed to listening, to pouring into your spouse, to giving them a full attention when you're not even present because you're too worried about the deal that might be on your phone, who's texting, scrolling on Facebook, right? Again, I used to, let me speak for myself, give my husband what was left of me and not the best of me. Changed that in the last 6 years. I'm 100% committed. I would not be here without his support. So how do I do that? I support him. He's a Jeep guy. I don't like my hair messed up. You guys know me, right? I want to look like this every day, not with my hair messed up. But you know what? I'll support him in those things. We got to support each other in our habits and our strengths. Number 2, the time you invest with your spouse is valuable. Just like we have to limit sometimes how much time we get with each one of our kids, if you have extra, a bigger family than I do. But you've got to invest the time. Ask them more questions. Rick is the best about that. God, he asks me 94 questions sometimes, and I love it and I hate it, but it's taught me so much about asking my husband more questions, right? That's our time invested. Love language. My best story about love language is when I first started traveling with the Corps, I would get in an Uber or a taxi, and I would go all the way across town to get my husband a golf shirt or a cigar or something that I really, really was so proud of, and I would take it home, and he'd go, thanks. I thought, you are so ungrateful. And so one night on our date night, I was like, this is really bothering me. It's really ticking me off. Let me share this story with you. And he said, that's your love language, not mine. I had never even asked him his love language. Slow down and ask them what theirs are. That's a bad thing that we do in our relationships is we put what we want onto them. And all he said to me, I said, well, what is your love language? And he said, quality time. Can you just come home? Some of you just need to go home. Our shared interests I talked about, we don't always have the same ones, but I can buy into it. I am committed to that relationship right below serving my Lord, bigger than anything else. I would leave anything or anybody that would always be my number one priority, and if it couldn't be, then I wouldn't be here. The next one is the financials. I owe Rick and Brita and Dayton, my first 3 coaches. When I got here, they were the 3 realtor coaches, and I came in with $59,000 to my name, and I'm knocking on the door of almost $4 million, which is allowing me to get to go do what I want to do, thanks to Rick and Britt. But this form changed my life. I do it without fail every month. My husband and I, here's the key to it, still do it together 17 years later. You guys, we've gotten really comfortable. The last few years, it was easy to auto-populate, plug in the credit card, not itemize it. And when the rubber met the road and the market has changed, now we're all coming back saying, we might need to go back and do it the way we used to do it. I still write mine out with pencil. I still total it up with a calculator, and then my assistant types it so Rick can read it, because I'm not sure he could read it in my handwriting. But here's the gift I want to give you about making this mandatory in your life and doing it every single month with your spouse. In 2012, I believe it was, my son, when I got in the Corps, it was 2005, started 2006. So 5 or 6 years in, we started involving our children, my child, in this form, and my stepchild. And he would stuff the envelopes and put the tape on it and put the stamp on it, and we made it a family affair. And my son will be 25 on the 23rd of this month, and last Thursday he bought his first house, thanks to this form. Guys, our kids aren't learning this. Our kids aren't learning money in school. That's why some of you come here and so broken and in debt, is because we're not taught this. We don't know what we don't know, and now you've affiliated with an organization that will forever change your life. You've heard that for 2 days, but the money solves all problems, and that's not a greed thing. If you can't take care of your family or your family can't take care of themselves, you have done a disservice to them and the future of their family somewhere down the road. I don't have to worry about Corey, ever. He has money in the bank. He got $100 a month because of this form to live on every month, and if he didn't spend it, he could save it. And he's been saving money since he was 12 years old. If you don't take anything else away from this, go teach your kids how to be committed to their success with their money by becoming a grinder. You can teach them this form. You can get them involved very young, give them cash, teach them how to tithe, teach them how to save, because this form will be the end of some of our careers because we didn't save. Some of us in this room or outside of this room may not be able to pursue our passion in real estate or lending because we didn't save any money. And if this market doesn't turn faster or sooner than later, some of you are going to be out of business. You didn't save for the future. So thank you for making me love and love and love this form, Rick. Changed my life. All right, let's talk about work a little bit. Some of us have gotten sloppy. Even through COVID, when Britt and Rick said we all had to go home and they were closing the office, I begged them. I said, please, I have to be the only one in the office. I do not even own a computer at my home. Nobody's shocked by that, right? The computer almost cost me my marriage before I found the Corps, because I was the one that would go in and send one more email or send one more fax or do one more chore, and I would come out and everybody in my family would be gone. I didn't know how to run a calendar. I didn't know how to stick to a calendar. I had no checks and balances. I had no accountability. And so my work-life balance was non-existent. Non-existent. So my husband asked me to remove the computer from my office in 2007. I took it out of my house, and I've never put it back. So when Britt and Rick said, you got to go home and work for COVID, I'm like, I can't. I promise never to go down that bad habit road again. So I went to the office every day during COVID, figured out how to make it work because I was committed to the success. I was driven to make it happen. I was passionate about my job. But there's 4 tips right there that will change your life if you'll just jump on board. Daily accountability tracker. You've heard all about it. The greatness tracker is the end-all be-all. I've heard Josh Sigmund say this before. If you just fill your greatness tracker, you will be rich. Just do the activity. Be accountable for your actions. Number 2, be intentional with your time. So many of us waste so much time on a daily basis by yakking in the kitchen or chit-chatting in the office or Dirty Dog Dave conversations about how somebody screwed you over, right? We're not intentional about our time. I want to come in at 9, I want to run out at 5. I'm very intentional about what I have to get done. The next one is don't vary from the plan. If your plan is I prospect from 10 to 12, I go to lunch from 12, I drive back 12 to 1, I drive back from 1 to 1:30, I do X, Y, Z. Don't deviate from that plan. Why do you guys want to recreate the wheel when the wheel is already created for you? You make it way more difficult than it has to be. And make sure everything is on your calendar. Time Tree. Time Tree is an app. Timetree. It's our family calendar. Both of our grown kids have access to it. My husband and I have access to it. It's all color-coded. Each one of us have our own color. If you want to know where your kids are, you want to know what activities are happening, you want to know what's going on with your spouse's travel, your own work, put it on an app, something similar to Time Tree, and make sure that you stick to that schedule. So if it says we're doing X, then we're doing X. If you look on my phone, every Thursday night it says date night at 5:30. Every Thursday until I'm not here anymore. Like in the ground, not here anymore, right? You got to put it on the calendar, and then you got to stick to the calendar. That's how you become a master grinder of your calendar. Self. Number 5 is self. One of my favorite sayings is, how do you pour from an empty cup? How do you pour from an empty cup? Some of you in this room I've talked to, we've had tears this week. We've had, I want to punch a wall this week. It's because you're not taking care of yourself. You don't sleep well. You don't eat well. You don't work out. Rick jokingly says to me, I'm addicted to my Peloton. It is non-negotiable. It is non-negotiable. My health is non-negotiable. I'll tell a funny story about Rick. It's probably been 10 years ago. We were on the stage. It was one of the first times he let me talk on the big stage. And he came up and he said, kind of like he did with Jeremy and Patrick, and he said, she's really good, isn't she? She's just a little thick. Changed my life. I'll never be thick again as long as I live. I'm not skinny. I'm fit, okay? I'm never going to be that skinny person. But it made me realize that I was in a bad place in myself. If you can't take care of yourself and put yourself in the best space of your life, then how do you go manage somebody's biggest asset of theirs? You're asking me to trust you, and you can't show up on time, or you're unfit, or you're tired, or you're coming in looking not professional and disheveled. I'm probably not going to be inclined to hand you $1 million loan or a $500,000 loan. So pouring from an empty cup for me is non-negotiable. I work out 5 days a week. Here's how I break the cycle. I work out 3 days a week, non-negotiable by myself. I get up, I stumble to the Peloton, and I work out. It's really easy. The other 2 days, sometimes I'm sore, I'm tired, I've been coming in on a red eye. I have a trainer 2 times a week. I'm not going to show up when somebody's waiting on me. If you have a hard time motivating yourself to go to the gym, hire a trainer. You guys make a lot of money. So hire somebody. If you can't afford a trainer, get a buddy. My husband and I walk 3-4 nights a week in the dark with a flashlight before we go to bed. 20-25 minutes outside will change your life. Take care of yourself. Be committed to yourself. I think you will be very proud if you would put yourself first in most instances and be better for your family, for your clients, and for yourself. And the last one, the tribe. You are my tribe. By far the best group of people that I know. I have one sister, a mom and a dad, a husband and 2 kids. That's my entire family. I have no grandparents. The family that we have created here, thanks to the leadership, has been amazing. I didn't think I was fit, as Rick said. We were all misfits, led by the biggest misfit. You got to find your people. I have a group of ladies, when I moved from Tennessee, that I was brokenhearted. I was so homesick. If I hadn't met Donna Goforth at Rick's Mortgage Company, he introduced us, I probably would have moved home. I was so homesick. I had left my tribe, and I decided that I never wanted to be in that position again. So I'm very committed. 3 times a month, I meet with my girls on Zoom. We drink wine. We read a book together every month. We do things that keep me connected to people who elevate me. Your group that you surround yourself with will make you better. If you are hanging out with dogs, you will wake up with fleas. Period. There's no dogs in this room. So if you come with us, we're going to make sure that we elevate you to get you to the best level that you want to be at, and we will be your tribe just like I found my tribe here. So in closing, I want to share a quick story with you guys. This is my son. Doesn't look a thing like me, I know. So what was the word I asked you to repeat for me earlier today? Let's say that one more time. Watching. Okay? So I'm going to tell you a story about this dragon. I've gotten a lot of questions about it today. And if I've coached you recently, you know what this dragon is. So Corey is my pride and joy. I am a cancer survivor, was never supposed to have a kid. And by the grace of God, you can see he's healthy and happy. So I went to move him out of his apartment from grad school, my husband and I did. And we were standing in the kitchen. He says, "Oh, Mom, I bought you something." Well, I'm on the payroll, so we know his budget's very small right now. And he says jokingly, "Well, it was only $5. And I said, "Okay, well, what is it?" So he comes out and he has this dragon. And he says, "Mom, for all the time you were in the Corps, all you talked about was fighting for that dragon and working hard and being the best student." And he said, "You can't get dragons anymore." He said, "I'm going to give you the ultimate dragon. I'm going to give you this for 3 reasons. Number 1, you taught me how to work hard. Number 2, you taught me how to save money. And number 3, you taught me how to love the Lord." And he said, "So I want you to know that all those days that you thought I never saw what you did, I saw you. I was watching. And I just want to say I thank you for that. And this is your ultimate dragon. From that moment on, I will never have mom guilt again, and I had a lot of it. I did it all wrong for a long, long, long time. So if you're in this room and you're thinking, "Oh, I can't work any harder," yes, you can. You can work smarter and harder. And if you're thinking, "I don't want to leave my kids," they're watching you. We have to do better for our kids. We have to leave a legacy, and if I've learned anything in this organization, I can do it here. I can leave a legacy, I can take care of my family, and I can be a great asset for you guys. So I want to leave you with the quote that Rick said earlier today, one of mine as well. It's Colossians 3:23. "Work as if you were doing it for the Lord and not for people." Thank you, guys.